Perfect Little Prince is a brand new collection by hot off the press, and I have to tell you, Teresa's done a fabulous job. I have 5 projects to show you, so please come play with us. Well, as I said, Perfect Little Prince is the collection. Let me just show you what's in it. This is the 12 by 12 double-sided cardstock with the coordinating double-sided solid. And then we have the 6 by 6, of course. We have the die cuts, 31 of them. And we have the chipboard. So this is going to be what we're going to be using, what Teresa has used. Let me scoot everything out of the way. Before we get into this, I just want to share with you this scrapbook page. It is on the back of the package, but it really gives you a taste of what's in this paper collection. You'll see the same design has a light background, white, and it also has a black background, and it's really fun to play these in your project. So you'll see also what Teresa did with that. So we're going to start with her first card, and like I said, she's got 5 projects. We'll get in closer just so you can really see what's going on. And this is beginning with the 6 by 6 papers. So you can see this is a shaker card, very fun. And let me show you some things that she's done, because there's several things going on here. Now we'll begin with, as I said, this is the paper that she has used on the front, and she coordinated that, of course, with the matching solid cardstock. And this is the blue that she used. You can really see it on the card, of course. And you'll notice that this piece has been die cut into it. And what she used was a previous die that we did, a set, and this is called All Seasons Oval Wreath. And what's fun about this is that it has these embellishments for every season. So you've got snowflakes, you've got seashells, you've got flowers, you've got leaves, just lots of different things that you can play with. And Teresa has done a great job. That's what she used here. So the flowers, 3 different sizes, the ferns as well. Well, I guess just the ferns, just different colors that she's used. So that worked out really nicely to have All Season Oval Wreath. Now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to just walk you through. So she has the 5 by 6.5 inch card, so that's what she's used, and that's what we use for most of our projects, because we like the bigger surface to allow, we just think it gives you more creativity. So she has cut the piece of the solid and glued that down to the front of her card. This piece she trimmed down. Now all of those measurements, all of the instructions are down below. You will see each of the projects. So when you want to go to the instructions or you want to see the download, because there's several downloads here, just click on the card and then you'll see the instructions on the right and you'll see the download right above the instructions. So that's just super easy. So anyway, she took this and die cut the wreath, the oval wreath out of it. But then she die cut this again out of the brown solid cardstock. So in this solid cardstock, there are 12 colors. And that's really helpful, especially for this project, because you can see the yellow, the pink, 2 shades of green. All of those are in the solid cardstock. So it just gives you so much to work with. Now, so she has die cut this oval out of here and then die cut the oval on top. Then she glued the acetate, and we do have the acetate sold in single sheets if that's of interest. You can also get the heat resistant acetate, but Teresa simply glued that to the back. You can use extra sticky tape to attach that. And then she put 2 layers of foam tape all around that oval. Now, if you've done shaker cards before, you know you use a little bit of foam tape, and you do want to make those pieces so that they touch, because you don't want any of these pretties escaping. And we like using the great big roll of foam tape. It's an excellent value, and it's just going to give you tons. You will use this for a long, long time and get it at a good savings. So she has made 2 layers actually of the foam tape going around. Then she took this. And if you haven't seen this, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. This is from Buttons Galore, and they call this their jewel mix. So there are little packages inside, as you can see, and they are all in a screw tap little container. And Teresa suggests you need just about a half of a teaspoon, so not much, to center in this area and then place this down on top to capture all of those pieces. Now, for this little piece right here, Teresa is going to give you a download. And again, the download, just click on the project and you'll see it over on the right side. And so she has cut this out of the cardstock. And then what she used to embellish here and these butterflies, you can see those are out of our engraved Dazzles. Now this is the flowers and lace Dazzles, and the Just For You can see it here. It's in gold and silver. What's different about these is that they are printed on a clear material, so just like this, there's a solid, but because it's clear, the color that you have behind it will show. Works nicely with the shaker card too, so you can let your butterflies flutter as you wish. Now, on the inside of our card, this is what we have. And again, that great big banner is on the download, so that'll be easy to find. And she used a darker color of paper right here to cut that out. And then she used a strip of the pink. Now she used the pink on the front, so you've already got a sheet out, and glued that right against the fold, and then chose this paper, again a light. So she's playing the lights and the darks everywhere. This is a piece of just, again, the pink cardstock. Now I do need to tell you, because I kind of skipped over that, what Teresa did when she chose her papers, and let me show you this. She selected matching ink pads. So for the pink, she used Plum Jam. For the green, and there's two greens that she used. Whoops, excuse me, green. Perhaps I should show you green, shouldn't I? Again, there's two greens that she used on her card. She used Pine Tree. For the yellow, she used Honey Pot. And for the blue, she used Midnight. So what she did was to take, after she had die cut out the flowers, she took the blending tool and simply tapped into it and then brushed the tips of all of the pieces. So that just makes it super easy. As you know, the blending brushes are very soft and they'll do a nice job of just adding color to the tips of things. And so that's what she has done here. Now, same thing on the inside of the card. You can see she's got the flowers right there. And because the flowers have 3 sizes, let me go back to the cutting die. There's 1, 2, 3. You can stack them and layer them as she has done on the yellow flower. And that's what she's done on this one. Now, she used that wonderful collection, that jewel mix, for the inside of her shaker, but she also used them to glue them into the center of the flowers. So you will need to lift those up. You want to use the jewel picker, will be a good tool. Tap them into glue and then place them, or just put a dab of glue there and position them in place. So there you've got the Just For You. These are also out of the engraved Dazzles, the Happy Birthday and the other little butterfly. So all of this completes this first card. Now let me scoot all of this away. And what I appreciate that Teresa does is she uses many of the things repeatedly and many of the techniques. So that's really nice. She does a wonderful mix of new product and older products. So that's always fun too. Now let's go to our next card. Now remember, I've been talking about the lights and the darks. Well, this is another place where they're going to play. And Teresa has done something very interesting here. And let me just show you what this is about. Now, she did take a regular, again, this is our 5 by 6.5 inch card, And then she also did a measurement on it. So this is a download. It's going to look like this. It's going to be 5 by 6.5. And what she did it right here on this card to just kind of show it for us. As you know, on all of her downloads, straight lines are cut lines, dashed lines are folded lines. Now the card comes like this, so you've already got that fold. You can also make your own, of course. So notice that this L is a straight line, so that gets cut. These are broken lines. So what you do is to take this pattern and put it over your card. However, in this case, the card is made from the paper. This is out of the 12 by 12. Again, it's double-sided. So what that's going to look like, in fact, I've already done it for you. So here is the piece. It is 6.5 by 10. 6.5 by 10 when folded. That's going to make our 5 by 6.5 inch card. That makes sense? Then I took the pattern and placed it on a window or a light source. I opened this up, and then I pressed just to get those lines onto my card so that I could see them. And then I went in with my ruler, and I'm going to, let's see, let me show it to you like this so it's a little more visible. That's the part that gets cut. So with those indentations, I used a ruler and my penknife, and I cut that L. Okay, so that worked nicely. Retract the blade. Then I have this. So I also scored on those dashed lines, and here's what happens. I've got this piece, and this is what it looks like inside the card. So I've got the pattern on the inside and right here. Now let me bring the finished card back so I can show you. Okay, so what she has done is she has gone into the solids, and I just showed you so many of those colors, and cut a square that's going to fit right here. And then she used the die cuts, and I'll show you this circle right here. And this is going to get foam taped onto the pink square. Okay, now that's going to go right there. The border right down here is from the cutouts that's also in the 12 by 12. You can see this piece. So she simply cut it. And because you can cut out, you can leave the matting that we've already done for you, or you can cut it away. In Teresa's case, she left the matting because she wanted that. So she just used part of it and glued it to the pink, matted it on the pink, and that pink is going to match that square that's right there. And she added dazzles around here, and she used the thin line dazzles. Those are some of our favorites. And you can see just what a nice job it does just to add a frame, both down here and along that square, okay? And right here, where it says Get Well, well, that comes from our We're Together Dazzles. And you get, you get them in brown, white, gold, and silver. See, I put notes on the back. It's called We're Together. And there are ones that are stacked like this, and there's also the same words that are in script and written out. And if you haven't seen these, they're just really useful. Missing you, love you, get well, thinking of you, missing our time together, hello friend, hello there, my friend. So just a lot of wonderful messages in many different colors, as you can see. It's the brown, gold, silver, and white. So that works nicely. Now let me scoot these out. And Teresa also added, see those little flowers? Well, those are also in the dazzles. Now she added pink jewel dazzles into the center because you get 540 on that sheet. So that worked nicely. Now the inside of her card, I'm just going to open this up. So she used the solid cardstock again to go right here, and that makes a fun design on the inside too. So you can see how that goes, and this kind of gives you the idea that you can really play with these cardstocks because of the light and the dark patterns. Now this is obviously the green. Lots of hugs. That too is a out of the die cuts, and let me pull that. It's right here. Again, another example. Now Teresa just flipped it over and placed it right here on top of this little piece of the paper, and matted that. Actually, that's one of the cutouts. There's another one. So you use this one on the front. This one is being used on the inside. These are more of the thin line Dazzles. With Love and Caring is one of the die cuts, just foam taped on top. So just a really very different, very fun card, and it's kind of neat to have something that's so different, isn't it? Okay, you do want to use the bone folder when you're folding those pieces, when you're really making those nice and tight so that they'll lay down flat, and that makes a world of difference. You can also use the handle of your scissors if you don't have a bone folder, so that will work too. Okay, let's move on to our next card, and let me show you. This is using the chipboard, and that's fun. So here we go, and isn't that just lovely? Now, you haven't seen dots, and that's become because that comes from another paper collection, but this is the 12 by 12. So let me just show you that. So you can see it's a much larger size, obviously, than the 6 by 6. What Teresa found is that it perfectly matches the Dotted Duos number 2, and I think that's just brilliant. So you can see that she has taken her paper, she's trimmed it down a little bit smaller than her 5 by 6.5 inch card, and she has cut a strip of the Dotted Duos. Now the Dotted Duos has a tiny dot on one side, same colors with a larger dot on the back side of the paper. So you have those options. And so she has placed it there. Then she took white cardstock and she used our Slimline border die cuts. Now this has 4 of them. They are 8.5 inches long, which would make them perfect for Slimline cards. However, don't be misled, because they're going to work perfectly really on everything else. So you can see the scallop right there, the white scallop, and the scallop right there. So she simply cut it out of the white cardstock, trimmed it, and glued it in place. Again, she used the thin line Dazzles to accent. So there's a dot and a straight line at the top and at the bottom. You can see how that does such a nice job. The Keep On Shining, well, that is from the cutouts from the paper collection, cardstock collection, Keep On Shining right there. So that gets placed and glued in place, and it's glued flat. Now, let's go into the chipboard. The chipboard looks like this, and oh, so pretty. Now, in the instructions, Teresa called for the big collection of 24 of the tri-blend markers. We love the tri-blend markers because you get 3 colors in one pen. So it eliminates a lot of the searching that goes on. And Teresa used a yellow-green for the leaves, and she used a pale pink for the flowers. Now, you can see that the center of the flowers is anything but pale. Well, that's because you get 3 colors in that, and the more layers you put on, very often the deeper the color will go. So she has done that, and isn't that pretty? She took these curved pieces and let them curve around that circle cutout. So it just is lovely. And notice that in her flowers, the darker area she did in the center, but on her leaves, the darker area is at the bottom of each of the leaves. So it just looks very realistic, and I appreciate that with what she does. So we recommend that you might want to color them while they're still attached to the base, and then you can just pop them out and that will work nicely. For the inside of her card, she has used this paper, which you've seen earlier, and then she also went into the dotted duals and pulled out this kind of salmon orangey color and did more coloring of the chipboard. Best is yet to be is another of the cutouts, so that works. Look at that long border. Doesn't that do a nice job? Again, that is the cutting dies. I didn't mention this. In the center of her flowers, Teresa used 49 in Market's Wishing Bubbles and Baubles. This is the blush collection because that has the pink. Now, they are self-adhesive, they are epoxy, so there's a shine to them. You can really see it on the card. And she used it, so they've got some hearts, as you can see, scattered them on the inside, put them into the center of the flowers. I do want to tell you that we have limited stock of this, so if it's something you're interested in, I just want to tell you that. The other thing that's so nice about these is that there are 67 in this package, so that's really nice. Some of them have glitter embedded in them, so that's really a fun extra bonus to provide for you. And if you haven't seen these, 49 Market is doing them with all of their collections, so that's a nice thing to see. Okay, let's go to another card. We've got 2 left, and this is next to the last. And this is a regular gatefold card, but there's something extra here. So as you know, a gatefold card, you're going to take your card and lay it flat. It has a score line there, but just lay it flat. And then you're going to score on each of the flaps going in 2.5 inches and bring them in to meet in the middle, not to overlap, okay? Now that is our basic gatefold card, but knowing Teresa, she did something else. So let me show you what happens when I open this. So here is the download, and again, just go down below, see this card, click on it, you'll see the download. It'll be on the right side of your screen along with the directions. So what Teresa has done is that this is that card laid flat. So you would lay the card flat like this, and then you can place this over your card. Make sure that they're aligned by holding this up to a light and just maybe using the low-tack tape to hold them in place. And then you can score along these lines, just make indentations. Go back, just like we said earlier, with the ruler, and you're going to cut, use your penknife to cut along those solid lines. There are 2 of them. And then to score along the broken lines, and just press hard, and you can press right through the paper. So just go that. Then when you remove this, your lines will be there and you are ready to go. Now, Teresa has marked on here which are valley folds, which are mountain folds. So that information is right there for you. I'll just show you here. So you've already got these 2 because you've already created those with your gatefold. Then we're going to make these 2 as mountain folds. Okay, going up, creating our mountain. And then these 2 are also going to be mountain folds. So basically, everything that you're going to do is going to be a mountain fold because you've already created your 2 valleys. And then that's how it's going to pop up when you get everything decorated. Okay, let me go back to the card and show you what she's done. Teresa does this very often, and I think it's just doggone brilliant. So she is using the 6x6 papers, and look what's happened here. So she has cut one piece that's going to be cut in half. So then she does that, and it just works really, really well. Again, the measurements are in the instructions. And then she glued them and matted them onto the pink. And look how she glued them to the front of her card. They go to the outside folds. So that just really creates a center area that's just all ready for you and for her. And what she's done is she has used the Elegant Heart cutting die. This is a beautiful, beautiful cutting die. And she has cut it out of our white glitter cardstock. And it just does a really nice job. These are also a really nice price. And what I also like is there are, I think it's 4 sheets per package. So you don't have to buy, you know, like 20 of them, and maybe you're not sure how long it's going to take you to use them. So that's a nice number. So you can see that is beautifully done. Now, to get her heart, Teresa has, drumroll please, given us a download. So this is a 4 by 3 inch heart. It's just going to fit perfectly behind our Elegant Heart. And so that's just a nice bonus. Thank you, Teresa. So she cut that out of, or cut it out of the pink, then glued the Elegant Heart on top. And of course, just glued it to the left side. Actually, she foam taped it to the left side of her gatefold. This is one of the cutouts from the 6 by 6, and that's foam taped here. Now, do you see that pink edging? Well, that comes from Dazzles, and that comes from our fancy border pearl and pastel Dazzles. Now this has got 20 sheets in it. I've got my notes on the back, and they come in all colors. There's, as you can see, yellow, there's pearl, there's pastel, and the pink is right here. So she has just placed those and trimmed them. The hello comes from another set of pastel and pearls, and this is the tiny words and phrases. There are a gazillion here, and I've shown you each of these with the green just to let you know that they're going to coordinate. So she used the silver right here, which is also part of each of the collections. So that's done a good job here. Now, again, when I open this, this is going to pop up. Another heart done exactly the same way. And then she went with a darker pattern for the inside of her card. And there it is. So again, she's cut 2 pieces here, 4 pieces here. The measurements are in the gallery. And then she used a light color for the center area. So you can see right here and here and here. So just everything is just slightly smaller so that the card, being white, really lets them stand out. The happy birthday is part of the tiny words and phrases Dazzles, but isn't that spectacular? Will it stand up? Yes, it will. I heard you, and that's going to work very, very nicely. Okay, I've got one more creation to share with you. Aren't they gorgeous? Really gorgeous. I love what Teresa does. And here is this last one. And let me show you. This again is using the chipboard. We are back into the 12 by 12 papers. So let me show you. Here is the one on the front, and this is using the one with the blue background. And she simply trimmed it smaller than her card. Again, this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. Now, she went back to the Dotted Duos number 2. So she's picked up the pink, and you can see it plays well with the roses, with the pink in the center. She matted it on white and then glued it down to the just under the half mark of her card. So that's pretty. She did add the pink jewel border Dazzles, just 2 rows right here and right here, just brought them all the way across. Now, she added the doilies. Now these are our 4 inch paper doilies. I think you get 20 in a package, and they just are so much fun and so useful. Now that gets placed right there. Teresa recommends using the sticky specs to attach the doily because it's got all of this intricacy of the design. So that's her recommendation and what she finds works well for her. So I pass that on to you. Now, let's get into the chipboard. Now, here is the chipboard piece, and I have pulled the pieces out because I want to show you how Teresa put them together. But first, what did she do? Well, She tapped all of them with a Versamark, so did that, and then poured on white embossing powder. Just poured it on, tapped off the excess, returned it to the bottle, and then she heated it with the heat gun to get this beautiful look. I'm hoping you can see the shine. I know you can see the shine of the Dazzles. Well, in person, there we go. You can see a bit of that. In person, there's just a beautiful shine to it. It's fun to have the roses, playing with the roses right there. But let me show you how she put this together. And like I said, I've pulled them out. So start with the rose, back here. There you can see it. And then she took this one and placed it there, and took one of the larger leaves and let it be right there. And then the little one, I broke mine when I was pulling it out, but you know, that doesn't mean anything, because when you place it, you can take the little leaf that broke off and just glue it down, just like that. Then she took these leaves and placed them, let's see, there's one that went there, and a big one that went there, and a small one that went there, and one that went there. So look at that spray. Now, if you had a smaller surface, you can just condense it down. But I thought that was really clever to position them that way. So if you want to take a screenshot of that right now, that's how it looks. So really, really pretty and really, really easy to do. Okay, the inside, oh, to glue these down, she doesn't recommend the sticky specs because they are super adhesive. I haven't tried them, but just the regular Cosmic Shimmer glue will be just fine. The inside of her card, okay, another doily. Notice it's been trimmed off. But first, the paper. This is the paper that was used on the inside with the solid cardstock. Notice it cuts off over here. Notice the doilies on the right side on the front of her card, on the left side on the inside, and look at those pink jewel border Dazzles shine on the inside. Very, very fun. Just works so well. Okay, well, you can see why I was so excited to share all of this with you, because there's just so many things you can do when you have perfect little prints in all of its creations, and just really, really fun to do. Now, we do have a money saver. You know where it is on the right side of your screen. And again, all of the projects are down below. Click on them. It will take you to the instructions with those downloads. We just so appreciate having you with us. And if you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you'll click that you like it and subscribe, because we want to grow our base and share all of these pretties with so many more people. Thank you, as always, for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.